guys, today we are going to be starting a new YouTube series that's going to be dedicated towards teaching people how to play the game that have never either played it before or still relatively new, and even for the old veterans. So follow, like, subscribe to the channel if you guys want to follow this series, and enjoy the video. Thank you. Alright guys, let's jump right into it. This is where we're going to get started here. We're going to go over this menu and talk about this menu a little bit. So here on the left you got is career, multiplayer, tutorials, mods, achievements, options, and credits. And then quit, obviously. First thing I would suggest you do, first time opening this up, is go in and get your mods set the way you need to set them based on your computer. So this is the game volume, the music, the everything here. This is what I would turn on right here. Or this is the settings I use personally. Obviously you're going to want to change those based on what you do. Also make sure you get your display settings. I currently run a medium hardware profile because when I'm streaming I need to upgrade my computer. So that's the reason I run a lower one on that. And then you can go through here, you got your keyboard controls, and you can go through and it'll show you all your different keyboard controls, and it'll walk you through, you know, everything on here. You can also calibrate your mouse, or if you're using a Xbox controller or whatever. I currently play PC, so that's why it's showing PC settings. But if you're playing on Xbox or anything like that, you'd also have these settings on Xbox or PlayStation or anything like that. Next thing you got here is achievements. These are some achievements I've earned. There's 23 achievements total in place on this game. You can go through and take a look at what they are. It tells you what you need to be able to get them complete. So I need to do 50 missions to be able to get the next achievement, and then 100 missions on that one. And then there's several other ones in here, fertilize, and sow, and you know, all those different things, right? So those are the achievements. I'm not going to go super deep into this next section, which is mods, because this series is about not using any mods. But just a quick thing here, if anybody's talking about mods, when you're trying to play with mods, you're going to go to this mod section. This is the mod store, and through each of these different sections you're going to have, which is called Mod Hub, and then you're going to have what you have installed on your computer, you know, just the different downloads, the DLC, you know, whatever DLC you currently have paid for, and which ones you don't, or which ones you can purchase if you don't have them already purchased. Just things like that, so that you can go through and you can make sure you have all the content here. And this is all the content that Giants has approved to be in their mod store, but there is also other places where you can get mods, which we'll cover in later videos, guys. Then you also have the tutorials. I highly recommend you go through and you do these tutorials. They're very lacking at best, but they give you a basic understanding of what you need to do and how you need to do it, and you know, so forth. So let's hop into career mode. We're going to do solo player today, and then I'm going to click on an unsaved. I have another save game. We're going to click on save game 2. We're going to hit continue, and then what I highly recommend for anybody who's never played this game before, start on new farmer mode, because what this is going to do is it's going to give you some equipment, some basic money, and some land to get you started to learn how to play the game, right? Then you also have Farm Manager. What Farm Manager does is it gives you $1,250,000, no land, but that also comes with a $250,000 loan that's already taken out because of that money, and you have to develop and buy your land and play wherever you want on that map. Start from scratch is what we call hard mode, where you get $500,000 to start, you get no land, and it's the same deal, but you don't have any loans taken out right at that time. So I tend to play start from scratch. I like playing that mode the most, but today, to go over this for this video, we are going to start in new farmer mode. Okay, here we go. So the two maps that come with the game base without mods is Ravenport and Felsburn, right? We are going to start with Ravenport. I said that wrong. Ravenport. We're going to start with Ravenport, and I'm going to go through the basics of showing you guys, because this map's a great map. It's a great starter map. It teaches you a lot on this map, and it's just great to learn the intricacies of the game. On this screen here, once you go and select your map, you'll get to create your character. You'll get to change your hat, put a jacket on if you want a jacket, different accessories. You can change the color of your shirt, and then you can also pick your character name. I have this set. This is the loadout I use. This is what my character looks like in the game. Alright, I am going to turn off all the mods. These are the mods I use. I'm going to turn them off for the purpose of this video. Alright, and then we just hit start, and we're going to load in here. Let's let it load up, and then we will see what we come up with. Do 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 do. Sorry guys, we're just waiting for this to load. I apologize for the little bit of downtime here. Alright, so when you load in for the first time, it will pop up this thing. I highly recommend you do the guided tour. I am not going to do it for the purpose of this video, but what it'll do, it will teach you the basics of this game. It will teach you how to use a little bit of the equipment and things like that. So I highly recommend you do it. For this purpose of the video, we're going to go ahead and hit no. If you like to start the guided tour, start a new career in Ravenport, and you'll be asked again, is what the thing says down below. Alright, so you start up here on this hill. As you can see on the little mini map right there, you got some properties and some dots and stuff like that. So what those means, anytime, let's go ahead and expand the map. So the way I expanded the map, if you guys see right there above where it says map, it says 9. And then I hit 9, it expands the map. If you hit 9 again, it makes the map disappear. This purpose is, I like running it in the small mode, but we're going to expand it to kind of go over the map just as you load in. So if you look at the map, you see there's some lands that have white numbers, and then you have some that have green numbers down here where we started. The ones that have green numbers in this case situation are properties that they gave you that you own right off the beginning. So we own fields 19, 24, 25, and 26. And then the rest of the map we still do not own, which we can own over time, right? Excuse me. I apologize for that, guys. I didn't mean to yawn. So let's go take a look at what else we got. If you look on the map there, in the mini map, you have some of those dots, and those dots represent equipment that you own. So let's go take a look at what they are. To keep in mind, when you're moving, you're going to use WASD to move, W going forward, S to move back, and A and D to go side to side. When your W is just going to be walk, but if you hold shift down, it'll allow you to run, right? So let's just kind of go a brief overview of this equipment. This looks like it's a tractor, a weight, and a seeder. That's for planting and doing planting and stuff in the fields, right? And we'll go, like I said, we'll go into this stuff more as we continue this series. I'm just trying to do a quick overview to get you guys started, and then the next video we'll go more in depth on these. So again, you have a weight here, you have a tractor, and then you have a plow here. Perfect. Alright, let's go take a look at here. So here we have a harvester, and a header, which is going to be great for harvesting that wheat. And then the last piece of equipment we got over here that they give you is another tractor with a trailer for you to haul your product on. And then right next to this is a silo where you can store all your product at. So, for example, there's some product already in here. Let me pull the trailer over here so you guys can see. So if I go underneath this, something else you guys should know is if you hit F1, pulls up a menu. It's turned off for me because I don't ever use it very often, but it should be popped up right away for you guys when you start a new game. But this controls menu, it'll help you when you're still learning on what buttons to push. So in this situation, I want to hit R to look and see what's inside my silo. So right now I have 12,000 wheat, 15,000 barley, 8,000 oats, 10,000 canola, 14,000. You guys can see, and there's a bunch of stuff that's kind of already in there, right? So that gets you started and shows you that kind of stuff. And the controls will turn off when you don't have anything right now. So like right now there's nothing I can do, so they're turned off. But if I walk up to a vehicle, the controls say, oh, E to enter the vehicle. So let's go more in depth on some of the settings and things you can do as you're getting started. So to pull up the settings menu and to get the full view when you're in game, on PC, you would hit escape. And then this will pop up, right? Your map is adjustable by using the roller button on your mouse, and it'll allow you to zoom in or out, as you can see down here with the little key in the bottom corner, right? So this is what the map looks like this. On this first tab right here, this is the map for all these different tabs. And we're going to go over all these different tabs here really quickly. So, this is what this looks like. And so right now we're set to the filter of fruit types. And so depending on the color of field, it'll tell you what's planted there. So for example, right here on field 24, it's like the yellowish brownish color, which is going to be wheat. And then over here, this like green colorish, it's going to be canola. So that tells us what's planted there, and it gives us the different filters. If you highlight through this, this tells you other filters. So like if it has weeds, if it's fertilized, if it needs to be plowed, if it needs to be limed. Now, if you are not playing with weeds, or you don't want to fertilize, or you're not playing with plowing or lime, you can turn certain filters off. So if you're going to plow, and that's part of the settings, and we'll go into those settings here in a little bit, you need to make sure you have the plow turned on so you know when your fields need to be plowed. Also fertilize. It'll tell you when your fields are already fertilized. The lighter green means it's 50% fertilized, and then the darker, I said green, but the lighter blue is 50% fertilized, and the darker blue is 100% fertilized. That's really important as we go through these videos to know that. Then you also have growth. It tells you what's growing, what fields are growing, what fields are ready to harvest. So like this field right here, field 24 is ready to harvest. Field 25 says it's been harvested, so that means it needs to be cultivated so that it can be planted. And then these blue fields down here that we own said they've been cultivated, which means they're ready to be seeded so that we can harvest them, right? All right. Let's go to the next tab. The next tab is going to be the prices menu on the different places you can sell. So up top is all the products available that are going to be on that server. So you got the scroll bar. You can go through here, for example. Also, if you notice, if you have a silo, it says your maximum capacity, your total capacity on the bottom row, and what's currently in your silo. This is another way for you to see. And then you also have other silos at a different location that don't have anything in it throughout the map. And like I said, again, we're going to keep going over this. We'll get it through it. And, you know, it'll be a great way for you to see the different things. But say, for instance, you want to sell wheat. You click on wheat. So it filters the top price, the highest price. And then, me personally, I take it to the highest price place. So it says port grain elevator. We're going to go to the map. We'll have to zoom in a little bit here. And we're going to find the port grain elevator. So it's over here. So then we would just follow the path with our tractor, or truck, or whatever the case is in that situation, and we go to the port grain elevator and sell. And we'll feature that here in a later video, guys. The next tab is going to be your vehicle overview. This is going to go talk about all the different vehicles you own. This is also going to talk about the hours that you have on them, how many days you've been working on them. It's also going to have the repair value, what needs to be repaired, and what they're owed if you were, what you would get if you were to sell them back. So if you decided you wanted to sell that equipment, that's how much their value is, and that's what you would get to be able to sell them back. Finances. In this menu, it talks about your finances, what your costs are per day, day to day. So if you bought a new vehicle, sold vehicles, sold livestock, bought livestock, anything, whether you bought something or sold something, it tells you here. It also tells you what your balance is, and if you want to take out a loan down here at the bottom, you would just hit this button here. I'm going to hit that, and then we're just going to repay it back. If you take out a loan, you do have to repay it because you pay loan interest every night at midnight in the game time. So make sure you repay back your loans. If you do borrow a loan, you can borrow up to $500,000 at any given time. The next tab is going to be animals. So when we get deeper into doing this series, we'll go over talking about animals and how those animals and things work. This tab is a great money maker right here, and we will get really deep into this. But this is contracts. What this does is this allows you to go make money working on other people's fields, and it's a great tool to make money. And again, we'll take a deeper dive into it, but it's a great tool to make money in this game. Then this will be your statistics, things you've done, how many acres you cultivated, plow time, all those different things, fuel usage. It'll cover everything that you've done in the game, and for your statistics in your session and your overall total of everything you've done. This next tab is going to be the game settings. So this is for this actual map, this particular map, on what your settings are going to be. You can set your time scale if you want to do real time, 5 times the speed, 15, 30, 60, and 120. But those are the different speeds. I personally play on real time just because I like to be as realistic as possible. You can also change the name of the save. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to put YouTube series here, so I know what save this is for me, right? And then you can go through these different settings. If you hire a helper, which we'll talk about later, I personally turn all these off because you don't want them to buy product for you, because it'll just eat away at your money. Like, they'll constantly buy product and it'll eat away at your money. Also, for plant growth, I do normal, but you have slow, normal, and fast. So if you're somebody that wants to move fast paced, you can set it to fast. If you want it to move slow, you can move slow, whichever the case is, and put normal. I turn plant withering off because a lot of the maps that I play are just really big maps, and they're hard for me to get to every plant before they would wither, right? So the crops would be going bad by the time I got to them if I had this turned on. So I turned that off, and I also turn weeds off, just because it's an extra step, and when you're working with big maps, it's just something that it's not easy to do. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to leave weeds on so that I can teach you guys how to work the weeds and how to do that the way I would do it if it was turned on for me. You also got automatic engine start. If you want to be realistic, you can turn this off, and then you'd have to hit enter to be able to turn your engines on and so forth. Also, I leave traffic on because I like having the other cars on the maps that have those things. And then I do turn plowing on, crop destruction on, and lime on, because those are like a big part of farming, right? So if real life, if you were farming, you're not going to just be able to run over your field and your crops not get destroyed, right? So I think that's really big and really important if you want to keep the authenticity. Also, plowing, you got to plow your fields about every 3 harvests, and you have to do that in real life. So why not do it in the game too? And then lime is to help keep your soil fertilized, not fertilized, but with the right nutrients and stuff like that in it. So I think that's really another point that do. And then I also set my autosave interval to 5 minutes because I do so much in a 5-minute time period that I don't want to lose any progress if, for say, I get disconnected or I lose power or whatever the case may be in this situation, right? So we're going to go to the next tab here. This next tab is your general settings. It's going to be your settings that are that you didn't touch in the main menu. This is your other settings. So you're going to be your sensitivity, your just different settings, and you can go through here. I personally set the game default sets it to euro and kilometers. Since I play in the United States, I set it to dollars and miles, and also acres or hectaacres. Those are different things. There's different settings depending on where you live. You can set those to whatever you want those to be. If you're colorblind, it has a colorblind mode, so it helps you out with that. There's just a wide range of different things you can set here, and I highly recommend you go through and take a look at what those settings are and just kind of get what get the settings set to where you're comfortable, right? And then the next tab again is the keyboard controls. So as you're going through and still learning buttons, if you have a question about what's what, this will take you and allow you to see the different things. And then the last tab, last but not least, these are different help things. It gives you different knowledge, tells you about crops, plowing, roots, harvesting, and then advanced knowledge. It tells you about all these different things that you can just kind of read over. And it just gives you, they're brief overviews, but they're good knowledge if you're into like making sure knowing every little detail. And then the last thing, guys, always save your game before you leave. So hit save game, it'll save it really quick, and then we can hit quick game here, and then it takes you back to the main menu. So this is gonna be it for episode 1 of the series, guys. In the next episode, I'm gonna go over the equipment and how to use each piece of equipment that the farm started with. I hope you guys like this video. Please subscribe, like the video down below, turn on the post notifications for new videos each week, and thank you guys very much for checking me out. Have a great day.